This is Darth Boy, and I tried doing this video live, but maybe it's because I haven't used this microphone in a while, or I haven't really done a proper video in a while that I'm just out of swing, I guess. But I guess that's life, essentially. May as well tell you guys my thoughts on Toy Story 4 now.
Listen.
My thoughts on Toy Story 4 are that I'm looking forward to it. The more I hear about it, the more excited I get. I guess there's a little part of me that's bummed that Lee Unkrich isn't doing this one, and John Lasseter isn't doing this one due to the allegations. If you want to know my opinion on those, that broke my fucking heart. That really, really broke my heart. But ignoring that, let's talk about Toy Story 4 as a here and now thing, because it's happening. My relationship with this movie kind of has gone through a series of emotions. I notoriously came out against the concept of this movie. I was unapologetic in my stance on it. I was against the idea of it. I thought it would ruin the Toy Story name. I was thinking this would be an Indiana Jones situation or a Batman and Robin. Now granted, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull I saw recently, and I thought it was okay. I enjoyed it, actually. And Batman and Robin is just a shitty movie, so there's no way a Toy Story 4 would be as bad as a Batman and Robin. At least I hope it wouldn't be. And then I was worried because John Lasseter was involved, and I was like, well, John Lasseter hasn't been involved doing a proper good movie, in my opinion, in years. You know, Cars 3, the wounds of Cars 3 were still very fresh to me, despite that movie coming out 3 years after the initial, before the initial announcement of a fourth movie. And we didn't really know the plot. You know, we were hearing Bo Peep's coming back, and I was against that idea. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, Woody let go of Bo Peep, and there's no reason for it. I was very much in that camp. But then I started to think, then some depressing events happened in my life. And I think mostly because of those depressing events, I've done a huge 180 on this movie. It's made me go, the luxury of bitching about a Toy Story 4 is kind of out the window right now. And frankly, I'm just happy to see my old friends again. And you might say it's kind of weird, but when you really love a franchise and you love a series of characters, you think of them almost as friends. You know, you're coming to visit some friends. You know, friends that you've known your whole life, in a sense, which, when it comes to these characters, I have. And what they're doing with this movie, I'm very interested in, and I'm also very worried. I'm very worried about the direction of this movie. I would say in a good way. I say that because when you look at how Bo Peep is being introduced, and I don't subscribe to the idea of Bo Peep as the villain in this movie. That would be the stupidest shit to do. One, we've had enough twist villains in this series. We've had 2. That's enough for one damn series. Plus, the twist villain trope is a cliche at this point in animated films. I mean, we've had tons and tons of examples of that just being a trope, right? So I don't want Bo Peep to be a villain. I want Bo Peep to be a reminder of Woody's past. Almost like a Great Gatsby notion, if you will. Where Bo Peep is more like a reminder of what could have been. And Woody has that temptation that longing to make up for lost time. Maybe not fully accepting. While he has to go help Forky, there's also a strong part of him that's like, I love her too much, and this is the love of his life. There's this great line in The Great Gatsby, and it's weird I'm comparing Toy Story 4 to The Great Gatsby. Well, I'm more or less talking about the 2013 film. The line goes, I forgot the fucking characters. It's been years since I read the fucking book, and I never finished the book. Yes, I am admitting 5 years after I read the fucking book that I never finished the fucking book. But whatever. Where the character goes... Oh, it's Nick! Yeah, Nick Carraway. That's the character. Yeah. Where Nick says to Jay Gatsby, you can't repeat the past. And Jay notoriously responds, well, of course you can. And I'm getting that kind of vibe from bringing Bo Peep back. And it's a very different Bo Peep. I mean, Bo Peep, to call her a damsel in distress is inaccurate. She was never that in the first two films, because she wasn't in the third one. But she was very much the loyal girlfriend that waits for the man, that being Woody. Or the loyal woman always behind Woody. And seeing her kind of develop this stronger, more independent side is an interesting twist. So now Bo Peep is more on par with Woody in this regard, as a leader, as a fighter, almost. As a more proactive character. And obviously, since this probably takes... It obviously doesn't take place 10 years after 3. It takes place, probably 2 or 3 years after the third film. Maximum. Because you also have to include the short films that were made. I'm not talking about Buzz Lightyear Star Command. That's like a spin-off. It's like a television series in between. See how geeky I'm getting? I can get geeky about Star Wars, and I can get geeky as fuck about Toy Story. So that's where we're at. We are getting geeky as fuck about Toy Story right now. But reintroducing Bo Peep just brings this tragedy to this relationship that ended too quickly, if you will. I think because of that, you get this underlying sadness that Woody feels when being reintroduced to Bo Peep. Now, the other thing I like about this movie, and some people are cynically going, oh, it's just the same damn movie over and over again. That's kind of what franchises are, if I'm going to be blunt. Look at Star Wars. Elements from the previous installments are reintroduced. George Lucas said it best in the bonus features to The Phantom Menace. It's like poetry. Every stanza has to rhyme with the last one. But what's interesting about the fourth one is that they're doing a 180 here, where instead of being jealous of the new favorite toy, Woody is very welcoming of the new favorite toy, and almost like kind of like an older brother or father figure to the new favorite toy, showing them the ropes. This shows a huge character development to where we saw him in the very first film, which does make sense. This is an older character. This is a character who has faced more trials. This is a character that has gone through so much loss, who has experienced a lot of joy, but also a lot of pain. A character that has had to make difficult decisions throughout his life. A character whose will was tested. Woody is very much... When I look at Woody as a character, I look at a character, the aspects of the character, I should say, where you could take it and you could apply it to another type of Western character in a film, and it would work. In a more adult media, which is what I think makes that character so brilliantly written. And now we have a new guy taking over from Lasseter and Ungrich. With Umbridge, this was another guy who was there from the very beginning. And Lassiter, that was his baby. So I guess I'm trying to view this guy more as a J.J. Abrams or a Rian Johnson. Now, I know people have issues with The Force Awakens and have issues with The Last Jedi. But I think this new guy, let me look him up really quick. Director of Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4 was directed by Josh Cooley.
There you go. Josh Cooley seems to, from what I'm seeing, it's almost like a fan of that. Oh, how old is this guy? Let's check. So this guy, it's not bad, man. Good on him. So this guy would have been, how old when that? He would have been 15 when the first one came out. So you're getting someone who grew up with the first film coming in to direct it. So it's kind of a very interesting cycle here. What I'm thinking about with Toy Story 4 is, yes, it's going to be very funny. The Toy Story films do have a lot of good comedy, but where Toy Story really strives, especially the sequels, they all strive in giving way more depth and emotional weight to characters you wouldn't expect deserve such weight and emotional payoff, if you will. And one of the things that I always find with Woody in these films is a connection to the past, which is his character. Because Woody is of the past. He is a pull-string doll. A cowboy pull-string doll, which, versus this new action figure Space Ranger thing that was Buzz Lightyear. That was the premise of his character. So it makes sense that they always go into an element of his past or a conflict of him dealing with the past or refusing to let go of it. But what I like here is that Woody seems to be very content with where he is. He's let go of Andy. He's obviously passed the Roundup gang shit from the second film. He has accepted the future. He has accepted his place. He has accepted a new relationship, a new life. And then all of a sudden, this major weight from his past is coming back to haunt him. Not haunt him, but tempt him to relive years that can never be repeated. And I think that's the direction they're going in with this film. I don't think Bo Peep is a twist villain, and I'm thinking that what Bo Peep probably wants from Woody is just for him to stay. Not from a villain standpoint, not as an evil standpoint or a malicious standpoint, but as a I love you and I want you back. Like Andy's gone. What do you need left? What do you have left? And Woody struggling with that pull. While Bo Peep is probably helping him, there's also that temptation in Woody of, I think it's going to be interesting because I'm sure Woody's going to be like, come with me. Where he's going, I do need you. But I think the most tragic thing that will be in this film is both of them realizing that they're different people. They're different from the lovers that they were a decade ago. And that their paths are on a very different trajectory and are incompatible. Which is probably going to be the emotional climax of the film. And I'm wondering if Woody's going to have to really let go. Because this is the shit that concerns me. Just hearing voice acting and acting are pretty much the same thing, but like the level of emotional weight that I was hearing behind the scenes, like, so for apparently Woody, Tom Hanks' last lines as Woody, right? It's like fucking insane to me when I think about this. So during the recording session, he turns away from every other actor in the film to give his last lines as Woody. And when I heard that, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be painful. This is going to be some of the most emotional shit we've seen in the series so far. It's kind of hard for me to get around the idea of a more emotional scene than Woody just accepting death like that was in the third film. We're going to be on some next level sad shit. That's what I'm getting out of this film. Ugh. I guess what I'm really looking forward to is adding Toy Story 4 to my Blu-ray collection. So there's that. Live long and prosper and have a nice day.